Good morning. Here are my UFC 274 results. I just woke up. You might be able to see it on my face, but here, let's rush through my results quickly here. Okay. Andre Fialo versus Cameron Van Camp. I bet $5.50 on the underdog. I kind of knew that this would happen, but Andre Fialo knocked out Cameron Van Camp. Andre Fialo knocked out Cameron Van Camp, which cost me $5.50. But good job, Andre Fialo. When it comes to Journey Newson versus Fernie Garcia, I bet on Journey Newson, and I got really lucky there that Journey Newson won that one. Then when it comes to Ariani Carnalassie versus Lupita Godinez, I was really worried because Ariani Carnalassie had like the biggest biceps in the women's division that I've ever fucking seen. And I thought maybe she'd be able to overpower Lupita Godinez using her strength or something like that, but they were just show muscles, I guess, and Lupita Godinez dominated that fight. Like, Lupita was on top of Ariani for like the entire 15 minutes, pretty much. It was pretty intense, so Lupita Godinez won me some money because I bet on Lupita Godinez. Good job, Lupita. And then when it comes to Clayton Rodriguez versus Cj Ferguera, I bet on the underdog in that one. The underdog was Cj Ferguera. I got lucky enough to win money on that one. Cj Ferguera won. Good job, CJ. And then when it comes to Tracy Cortez versus Melissa Gatto, I bet on Melissa Gatto to win. Tracy Cortez won. That was a hot fight, though. Those women are gorgeous. Tracy Cortez ended up winning that fight. It was amazing. Like, it was good on Tracy Cortez, respect. And then when it comes to Francisco Trinaldo versus Danny Roberts, I bet on Danny Roberts to win, but let's see, I can't remember who the fuck won here. I didn't have him crossed off on my list or not. I'll get back to you on that, but here's the results for that right now. Yeah, so that's what happened there. When it comes to Blagoy Ivanov versus Marcos Rogera de Lima, Blagoy Ivanov won, and I bet on Marcus Rogera de Lima. And yeah, good job on Blagoy Ivanov. Respect. And then when it comes to Brandon Roybell versus Matt Schnell, Brandon Roybell got really lucky with the submission there, and yeah, he tapped out Matt Schnell. It was a good fight. Way to go, Brandon Roybell. Thank you for winning me some money. And when it comes to Macy Chiasson versus Norma Dumont, Norma Dumont was a huge overdog. You know, she was like the favorite going into this fight. And like, I was looking at them at the weigh-ins and stuff like that. Norma Dumont had like a bunch of paint on her face and stuff like that. And like, even though I understand what she was kind of going for, I had a feeling that Macy Chiasson was going to level her out. And that's totally what happened because Macy Chiasson had like 7 minutes of ground control time or whatever. It was intense. So Macy Chiasson ended up winning that one. Good job, Macy. Thank you. And then the main card. Now, the reason we're jumping to the main card right now is because Joe Lauzon versus Donald Cerrone didn't happen. So I ended up getting my money back that I bet on Joe Lauzon to win against Donald Cerrone, which kind of sucks on one level because I wanted to see that Donald Cerrone fight versus Joe Lauzon, and I was hoping that Joe Lauzon was going to tap out Donald Cerrone some way, somehow. Although I saw the press conference, and I was kind of rooting for Donald Cerrone after he was kind of like crying on the press conference because he was so like passionate that his son gets to see what he does for a living, things like that. So I was kind of, even though I've been on Joe Lauzon, after watching the press conference, I was like, wow, Donald Cerrone is all heart, man, doing it for his son. Even though I know Joe Lauzon is doing it for his son as well, or his family as well, or who, if he has a son or a daughter. I know he has babies, but that fight didn't happen. So we went to the main card, and what got bumped up was the Randy Brown fight versus Chaos Williams fight. The Randy Brown fight and Chaos Williams fight, that was fun. I gotta tell you, that was really fun. Like Brown had some fluidity going in his motions, and Chaos Williams was very squared around the shoulders, just like squaring up with his opponent and stuff like that. It was a tough call, but the judges saw it in favor of Randy Brown, and I bet on Randy Brown. So Randy Brown won me some money there. Thank you, Randy Brown. As far as that goes, like, we're on the main card now. And then the second fight on the main card was Mauricio Shogun Hua. Friggin' Al Pacino there from Scent of a Woman. Okay, Mauricio Shogun Hua versus Owen St. Preux, and that fight was kind of a bit slow paced, but like they're a bit older. Like one's like 39, one's like 40 or whatever, and they're both very wise. Like they're wise enough to know that both of them are killers, right? So I guess nobody was really taking too many chances because the fight never went to the ground, not even once. Nobody took anybody down or anything like that. But I bet on Owen St. Preux to win, And luckily enough, Open St. Preux, OSP, won that fight against Shogun Rua. Respect to both fighters, but thank you, OSP, for winning me some money there. Now, when it comes to Michael Chandler versus Tony Ferguson, oh my God, this is the fight that everybody is going to be talking about forever, because this when the knockout is going to make the highlight reels for forever. You know what I mean? Like whenever you go to like greatest 100 knockouts in the UFC, like odds are this knockout in the Michael Chandler versus Tony Ferguson fight, odds are they're going to show that in like the top 100 and all that stuff. It's crazy because nobody does that to Tony Ferguson for the most part, right? So, but when it came to Michael Chandler versus Tony Ferguson, Michael Chandler knocked out Tony Ferguson 17 seconds into the second round. That was amazing. I bet on Tony Ferguson, but like really congratulations to Michael Chandler for winning that fight and for costing me money. But like seriously, it was like knockout of the year so far. If you haven't seen it already, go check out the Michael Chandler versus Tony Ferguson fight. It was pretty intense. And when it comes to our co-main event, that was Rosanna Namajunas versus Carla Esparza. I almost don't want to waste too much time talking about this fight because nothing really happened in the fight. In 25 minutes of fighting, these professional fighters going for a championship only had about like 33 strikes each. Like Carla had 30 strikes, and then Rose had like 33 strikes, and Rose had 1 takedown, and Carla Esparza had 2 takedowns, and that was in a 25-minute fight with professional athletes where, you know, they should be at, like, if you go 25 minutes, there should be at least like 50 fucking punches thrown throughout the entire thing, or more ground control or something. Like, but it was like the most boring fight of 2022, but I understand it to a certain extent. Like, they're both like high-level professional champions, and nobody wanted to make a slip up or anything like that, but nothing happened in the entire fucking fight. It should have been a draw. I bet on Rose Namajunas, thinking that Rose Namajunas was going to look for blood. Maybe she was being all nice or something because Carla Esparza was getting married next week. She's getting married like Saturday or something, and like, maybe Rose didn't want to fuck her up or something. I don't know what it was. Whatever it was, like, nobody took any fucking chances whatsoever. I bet money on Rose Namajunas to win, and Carla Esparza won the championship because she had more takedowns overall, and that's pretty much it. That's pretty much how that fight went. Oh well, what are you gonna do about it, right? Anyways, now when it comes to the main event, there's a whole bunch of controversy surrounding this fight here. Like, the main event was Charles Oliveira versus Justin Gagey, and the fact that Charles Oliveira missed weight by like a pound or whatever the fuck it was, like, that made me think the stars were opening up for Justin Gagey to win. But as far as that fight went, though, like, it was really entertaining. Justin Gagey dropped Charles Oliveira for a bit there, and then Charles Oliveira got right back up and then ended up backpacking Justin Gagey, and then Justin Gagey got choked out with a rear naked choke by Charles Oliveira. So that fight made everything worthwhile. Like, that was totally fucking awesome. That was totally worthwhile, right? Like, everything up to that fight was kind of like, yeah, it was all right. But like, that Charles Oliveira versus Justin Gagey fight made everything worth it. And actually, so did the Michael Chandler versus Tony Ferguson fight. That made everything worth it. It was totally worth buying the pay-per-view. I'll probably buy the next pay-per-view, but yeah, Charles Oliveira ended up winning. And since he didn't make weight, the title remained vacant. So that means that Charles Oliveira is now the #1 contender, and he has to fight for his title again in order to obtain it again, assuming he can make weight the next time that they fight for this vacant title. But there's a bunch of controversy about that. People are thinking that it was fixed, like the backstage scale that the fighters use. They're thinking that was fixed and all that stuff, but it's hard to tell. Let's just say Charles Oliveira just didn't make weight. That's all there is to it. What are you gonna do about it? But like, as far as that goes, though, that was UFC 274, and that's my betting results right there. Let's see how much we won. Let's tally this up. Okay, so if I tallied up everything correctly, I bet $155.5 on the fight. $155.50. That's how much I bet on UFC 274. Now, how much I won was $150.54. Which, any sports gambler will kind of tell you that's not so bad. That's not so bad, even though it was $5 out of my pocket. But ultimately, that's not so bad as far as sports betting goes. I had a great time watching the fights. I'm looking forward to UFC 275, although I feel like UFC 275, as far as like big names go, there's not too many big names on that card. Like, even though everybody in the UFC is a big name and all that stuff, like, diehard fans kind of know what I mean to a certain extent. But UFC 276, that one's going to be a big one. I heard Khamzat Chimaev is fighting Nate Diaz, which is kind of almost ridiculous. Like, poor Nate Diaz, as far as that goes. But like, I'm not counting him out. I'm just saying Khamzat Chimaev might just crush him. I'm not counting out Nate Diaz, though. Like, anybody can win on any given day. But those were my results for UFC 274. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you the next time we bet on the UFC. Respect.